truncate that election, the election will hold. Okay? Now, talking about where the election will go, you see, Nigerians, wherever we say we are going is where we will go. When Nigerians are tired of a particular product, believe you me, they are tired of that product. And what am I saying? Nigerians, the other time, they said anything. They wanted that change, anything other than the then President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan of PDP. And they brought anything in APC. And look at where we are today.
But you can't fault the political decisions of the people.
I'm not faulting.
President Muhammadu Buhari was duly voted in and returned in 2019.
Oh yes. But then where has that led us to? You were being asked to go to the stream to go and fetch water. You go to the stream. For you to now drop your bucket inside that stream to draw out water, you refuse to draw out water, and you are now coming back home. They will send you to go and fetch that water again. Nobody is ready to wait for you because people are thirsty. And people are now saying, look, even at that time, those people that we said cannot do it, when that comparative analysis were being done, they said, okay, please gather yourselves together and then come and take that seat we took away from you. And that is what Nigerians are now saying. Nigerians are now saying, look, we are tired of all promises cancelled. Now we now want to stay under that umbrella that will not allow rain to beat us, that will not allow sun to beat us, where everybody can stay together as one, where Nigerians will stay together as one and live as a family and develop. Because where there is no cohesion, where there is no peace, where people are in total disarray, there can't be any development. People will not be able to think and write. People will not be able to put things together. Okay, so to me, people have made their decision. People have talked about it. People have been saying it. That look, please, we are sorry. Come back and take that seat that belongs to you.
Now,
and that is talking about the PDP.
Okay, that's that part. That's the
no,
lead.
Because you asked me. That's what Nigerians are now saying.
That is the lead I didn't want you to flip open.
Why will I not flip it open? Nigerians are now looking. Nigerians are now looking for PDP to come. Let me give you an instance. Let me give you an example. Look at what is happening in Lagos State.
Okay.
Look at what is happening in Lagos.
But hang on. Before we go into the Lagos State conversation, Dr. Dawo, there's an emergence of the third force right now.
Sure.
Even if a lot of people don't want to live with that reality. Now, when Peter Obi contested, when it was a joint ticket in 2019, alongside the former vice president and the current flag bearer of the party, that's Atiku Abubakar, a lot of people probably felt he couldn't test his popularity as much as he would love to. Now, the conversation changed for him. And he got to the platform of the Labour Party, and the story changed. As against what we used to have, is that is the APC or the PDP. Now, Peter Obi and the Labour Party have brought a new kind of movement. You may want to say it's social media inclined. You may want to say, oh, it's a young people's generation.
I don't even believe
How
in
much
that.
do you think that the third force narrative would dictate where would go in 2023 presidential election specifically?
Yes. No doubt about it. Right from the time immemorial. Let me don't let me go beyond the one you will understand. During Baba Awolowo's campaign in 1979, they were having UPN, MPN, PRP, GMPP. You understand? 5 parties then. But at the same time, my brother, we were having one there that was standing as a third force. In 1999, there was third force. The one that you remember.
Was there a third force in 1999?
There was, but not too pronounced. Okay? But the one the one you will remember is the one that happened when Baba Obasanjo was out of government, and he brought in people like Ozekeme, people like my brother Femi Falana and co. All right, so third force is not an issue. Here comes my brother. Hey, sir, that our rights. I was sitting this evening, sir. You're welcome, sir.
How are you?
You're welcome, sir.
How do you do?
Yes, sir. Listener, sorry, please, I'm sorry because
No, it's fine.
in Yoruba they say for laugh for life for low year for year. So that when I to get to that your position, my junior wants to respect me.
Okay.
You're welcome, sir.
God bless you.
You're welcome,
Okay.
sir.
Well, I was saying it the other time that I'm having double package on the show today. And just while, Dr. Dawakade was talking, I have one man. By the way, he clocked 70, I think, in March this year.
Yeah,
and I will talk about
we
that.
are both on March.
And he wrote a book. He said, My Double Jeopardy. We'll also talk about that as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listeners at home, I promise it to be a good time of the show this evening. Because with me in the studio, I have Omoba Adedoyin Ajibike Okupe. The ones a lot of us know as Dr. Okupe. Please,
Dr. Doyin Okupe.
I'll still build it. I'm still building the narrative. And well, he's someone that I've been around for a while, and it's my pleasure to have him join us on the show this evening. Good evening, Dr. Doyin Okupe.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, and it's good to have you join us despite the short notice that we reached out to you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Okay. Before you came in, definitely we just go straight up into it now. We were talking about the emergence of the third force, which, as much as we return all glory to God, you've been a huge player. You've been at the forefront of this conversation. He was talking about the fact that we didn't have a totally two different, just two political systems in 1999. Of course, we had the Alliance for Democracy and the PDP. But since then, we've had the same story. It's either the PDP that ruled for 16 years, they left office, the APC came in. But it looks like we're having a new direction to the 2023 general election now with the emergence of the Labour Party, which is the third force in our conversation. How did we start that journey? Or let me say, how did you start that journey, Dr. Doyin Okupe?
Should I hang my?
We'll come to you. The conversation is flowing in it. So let's get back to you, Dr.
Thank
Doyin
you.
Okupe.
Thank you very much, Okwe. Well, it's when an idea's time has come. It's just there's very little you can do about it. If I do say that in any way that we were totally instrumental to the emergence of what you call third force, I'd rather call it a new political movement in the country. And it's not unusual because, for a fact, the two elsewhere big political parties that we have are on their way out. They're like, after you had a drug for quite a while, every drug has its own expiry date. The PDP and the APC are expiring quantities, as you can see. And under that situation, once the general populace sensed that there was something in the offing that is new, that may give hope, and in this situation which all of us are in, we need that hope. I mean, in a country where in the first quarter of this year, your total revenue inflow was about 1.6 trillion, and then your expenses went to as high as 4-point-something trillion. So you have a deficit of nearly 3 trillion in a country where it is still undecided how much fuel we consume daily. On a daily basis. Such a very empirical thing. Before it was 100 and something. Today NNPC has come up with a figure of 68 million barrels or something like that. And we are actually planning to spend 6 trillion on subsidy. When subsidy started, Jonathan was talking about I think someone 800 and something billion naira. Everybody screamed blue mother. This is 6 trillion, almost 30% of our annual budget is going to be used for such, infinitesimally inconsequential matter that should not really, why should government subsidize fuel? You are not compelled to leave your house. You are not compelled to use petroleum product. If you can't afford it, please, you can take a taxi, take an Uber, take a bus. Finance minister saying that in 2023 there will be no capital vote. I mean, that's the end. That's the end, because I'm not an economist, but I learned an equation in economics that says that expendable income is a calculation of government expenditure and wages. It's a linear equation. Money that's available for people to spend is a function of that equation. It's not me. This is a time-tested, economic equation. And in that equation, government is responsible for the large chunk of the equation on the right. That is, government expenditure plus wages. So when you remove government expenditure to zero, all right, now what do you have on the other side? That means people will have no disposable income. If they don't have disposable income, then they will not be able to buy anything. They will not be able to do anything. They will not be, then those who are producing things for marketing will have no market. I mean, what is there? The projection for 2023 is scary, very scary. So under that condition, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, fourth will emerge. That's what has happened. But people now have seen a hero, their own hero, a man that they can trust, a man that has shown some level of probity, some level of financial discipline, some level of commitment to government and frugality. So they say, okay, this one, he's not, this is not a man, they trust him, that is not a man that is pretending. We have seen his personal life, how he lived, his life, and how he's living his life. So this person we can trust with our lives. That is the basis of this movement.
Okay. Good to have you set the conversation that way. By the way, you can follow us and watch us live. We are live on our YouTube platform. Just search YouTube at Mainland FM, on Instagram at Mainland 98.3 FM, on Twitter, Mainland FM, and Facebook at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can watch us live. Now, Dr. Odin Okukpe, you've talked about the need or the reason why people seems to have embraced the candidate of the Labour Party now. Now, in your book, the Double Jeopardy, the Doyin Okupe story, you were clearly with your position that the ruling APC did not win the 2015 general election.
It's an incontrovertible fact.
So talk to us about that. I mean, you were part of the government of former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
I'm sure you don't have more than an hour for me to be on this program.
No, we have an hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half. It's not enough to discuss Nigerians' issues. Let's go to very cogent, very important things that will reward Nigerian public. That the APC did fraud and installed themselves, it's a fact. They know it, we know it, everybody knows it. Just look straight away at what happened in Kano. In Kano, 2 million people are 1.9 million people, 2 million people are registered to vote, 1.9 million voted. Excuse me. They were changing the results from Kano hourly in order to adjust so that they can defeat Jonathan. Do you understand the point? Orubebe today is in APC. Go and ask him. That was what iked Orubebe, and he got angry that you can't run an election like this. At 4 o'clock the total result is different. At 5 is different. At 6 is different. So they just kept on adjusting Kano result until a victory was in the sight. So or do you want to talk about what happened in Kogi, where you were using a helicopter to chase people around? People were being killed. By houses. Where opposition houses were burned. People were killed. This is. I'm not worried anymore about events that have passed. I am more worried about what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Believe me sincerely. Peter Obi will most certainly win this election by the grace of God. But I'm not excited, because I look at the depth of the rot. I mean, by the time Obi will be coming into government, Jesus, we'll probably be owing. I mean, we have a budget for 2023. It's about 19 trillion. 11 trillion will have to be borrowed. Excuse me. 11 trillion will be borrowed out of 19. So, what is there to, look.
Even DMO of recent said our debt now is 46 trillion.
So
46 trillion or so.
I mean, this is a disaster. Not waiting to happen. It has already happened. So that's why I will not discuss such things.
Okay, so now let's move forward. Now, days leading to the PDP primaries, a lot of people didn't see the candidacy of Peter Obi moving out of the PDP, but overnight we just started hearing rumor. We saw the letter of resignation of the intent to withdraw from the presidential race, and we saw the Labour Party conversation. And from then on, it's been a movement that is spreading like wildfire. Many people said, oh, it's the social media thing. It's an offshoot of the NSAS. It will burn out. But the election is in February next year, according to our next timetable. And as it is now, the movement seems to be growing every day.
Let me
I
tell
watched
you,
the interviews.
By December this year, it will be clear to all and sundry who the leader of the pack is. Presently today, I will even give it to you. Even if we're leading, it's just going to be, it's all marginal. We have figures, we have surveys, we have, scientific things that we have done. But, everybody is still, but that if in 4 months, you can create a party that comes on stream, in a political confrontation and contest with existing parties, and they are on the same level in 4 months, then you should be worried.
Was this about Peter Obi or the Labour Party? Vis-a-vis the issue of structures.
I've just told you, Nigerians are fed up. I was a member of PDP. PDP ruled the country in APC. APC has now ruled for 7 years. The situation seems to be worse.
They can't even wait for 16 years.
So, I mean, the two, you have tested the two, and they have not been satisfactory. I'm not criticizing anybody. They are, so the result of the satisfaction of the populace is what we are seeing in the trending momentum that Labour is generating.
So where is this movement taking Nigerians to? I watched the interview of Professor Patu Tomi yesterday night on national TV from the US, and he was talking about the need for the entire population to see Peter Obi not just as a religious candidate or as a tribal candidate, but a candidate that means well for the people of this country. Do you also share this sentiment, Dr. Look,
what is becoming clear is that Peter Obi has become a national agenda. It has gone beyond race, nationality, religion, or whatever you want to call it. It has become a national agenda. Yes, true. You can say the penetration in the north is still not very evident. True, fact. But it does not mean that the idea has not reached the north. You see, it takes time for you to get hold of an idea, for you to digest it, and then align with it. So that is the process that is taking place in the north now. And that's why I told you that by December, when the north is fully on board, there will be no contest. And there should be no contest because there's nothing to compare with this new thing that is coming up. Neither PDP nor APC has, anything in their pedigree that Nigerians can rely on and say, let's give them a chance. No. Anybody who loves Nigeria will not be thinking in that constitution at all. And let me tell you, I'm not playing holier than thou. I'm not being unduly critical. I'm not. Left to me alone right now, if this country were to be populated by seriously, sincerely minded stakeholders, this presidency of 2023 should be a negotiated matter. There's no need to go for any serious election. Nigeria, I've just told you. My brother here, Adida, just told us that the debt office
management office
released a debt of 46 trillion. I'm saying that next year we have a budget of 19, we're going to borrow 11, so it will be 57 trillion. Do you understand my point? We are in more serious problem than we know. I see politicians wearing new agbada, glossy things, beautiful. This is not the time for that, oh. It's not. We are not going for a naming ceremony or a wedding. We are going, we are, almost we're going for, obsequies.
Dr. Deokukwe, how much of a deal breaker? A lot of us followed 2015. We saw the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019. How much of a deal breaker is the 2023 general election going to be for the future and the soul of this country?
It depends. It depends on how the elites react. If people, today, if you have a responsible elitism in place, today that we have this avalanche of problems, challenges, and difficulties, people cannot move around. Over 300 schools have been closed down in the north. 300 schools. If they contained, if they had 1,000 children, that means 300,000 children
out of school.
Out of school. Our universities have been closed for 6 months. There's no hope on the horizon. Excuse me. That's what I'm saying, that the idea of conducting an election, somebody winning, somebody losing, is not applicable now. If we are sensible, people should come together, all right, and say, look, we don't have time for, whatever you have, bring. Whatever you have, bring. Nigerian people and Nigerian youth have chosen a leader. Let us work together with him. So that, it's not a question of somebody has won, somebody has lost, but, we can do it in such a way that Nigeria can win and Nigerians can win. This is, that's what I'm saying, that this should be a negotiated, right now, what the situation in Nigeria calls for, the dire situation in Nigeria. I'm not interested in a victory for Obi to the detriment of Bola Tinubu or Atiku Abubakar or their people. No, we are all Nigerians. My only interest is that somebody must come who has an idea to run the thing properly. We must give him a chance to be the leader in this venture, and let him help Nigeria to recover the country, retake the country, reset the country. Then after him, then we can then say, okay, fine, we now need people who can go take it to the next level. Let us compete. Bring your ideas. But right now, the national election, the presidential election, should be something that we negotiate and there's no trouble, and nobody pays any 100 billion to contest or 200 billion to contest. Let the governorship and other elections become local. All right, they become local. Vote for whoever you think will do best in your environment. But for the presidency, we can agree. It is obvious. Bola Tinubu is an elderly man. Atiku too is 76 or so. You understand my point? They mean well, they can do well, but they cannot compare with the effectiveness and thoroughness that we can see, that Nigerians can see in Peter Obi. So there's no need to close our eyes. It's not a matter of personal aggrandizement or mission accomplished. I want to be a president. I've always dreamed to be a president. No, that's just one man dreaming. What about the dream of 200 people? Should we subsume the dream of 200 people just that one man may achieve his own dream? Okay, that is not it. And that's what I'm telling you. I know by the grace of God, may God preserve our lives. Peter Obi is going to win the election. But I'm telling you that it does not in any way excite me. Because I'm not looking for office. I'm not looking for money. I'm worried. And I want a situation where, I've seen there's an avalanche of evidence that the Nigerian youth have incredible ability and capability to do, wonderful things. But they are not able to do it in government. That's why the government is heavily, downward going. Those who can lift it have no access to power. So that's what some of us are doing. We want to hold the place and, hold it down, clear the road, so that people like you and him and others, who are young and who actually there's too many young people. What our people are doing is astonishing. Look at the music industry. When I was young, and Fela and others are playing. But look at what these people, the video, P Square, and all this, they've taken it to another level entirely. And ditto acting, ditto, technology. I mean, the other day I was reading about Minister of Finance, Okonjo-Iweala's son. He had done something they've never done before. Surgery in the United States. That's a Nigerian. You go to tell all the big men in this country, if 1,000 big men in Nigeria go abroad, whether it's UK or America, for medical treatment, 80% of the time is a Nigerian that is treating them. In the hospitals they go. I can say that I've been taking medical treatment abroad for the last 20 years. I've never seen, in fact, once I saw a white person, I didn't go back for the appointment. I didn't. I was eventually treated by a Nigerian in Atlanta who was recommended. I didn't know it was a Nigerian. I was having dinner with somebody in New York, and he said, "Oh, doctor, is that the issue?" I said, "Yes." "Oh," he said, "I'll give you the best man in the United States for this matter." So he gave me the guy's name, number, and all that. I didn't know. I called him. He gave me an appointment. When I saw the man, I said, "I'm looking for." His name sounds like a white man's name. No, he said, "I'm the person." I said, "You are the person?" He said, "Yes." And that's it. We have so many people in the diaspora who have acquired serious expertise, that they can come here. Some of them are even so wealthy, they don't need money, but they can come here and research this country if you give them a chance. They have acquired so much knowledge. So you can. I wanted to run for president, but I saw a superior person.
I was going to come to that.
Yeah, I saw a superior person, and I bowed and I said, "Look, this man can do better than me. I meant well, but this guy, whether he means well or not, he is better than me. So let me line behind him. It's for the country now. It's not for Cooper. It's not for me. That's this is the spirit we must imbibe now, where our country is in such dire straits that competitiveness and unnecessary expenditure profile for the issue of presidency does not make sense. I'm calling the Nigerians, the elites, the so-called owners of the
Absalam
Abubakar, and traditional rulers, and the Sultan, all these people, cannot just be aloof and wait for things to spoil. What is the point of appointing you a leader of your people when you see danger coming to them and you cannot prevent it? Let our elders and leaders come together and say, "Look, this country is like this." And call people, say, "Look, these young people are not stupid. We spend money on them. This is what they are saying. Is there a merit in what they are saying? If there is merit, then let us agree." Anybody who in that meeting refuses to agree, don't worry about him. The country comes and makes a pronouncement that, "Look, this is the person Nigeria is backing." So we don't need to spend any money. So there's no fear that somebody, we say, "I'll spend 100 billion. I want to return. I'll recover my money." This is how reasonable men. This is how a reasonable society can be run. We don't need, all this passion. It is a matter of fact that when you place is quite way ahead of others.
Okay.
And the Nigerian situation, especially the North. The North must forgive the Igbos for the civil war. The civil war must end. If the civil war does not end, we cannot have peace in this country.
Okay, you were just way ahead of me. I mean, being my father, so it's only normal. I was going to come into that conversation. Leading to the
but you are making me to sleep in
No,
the
I'm
studio.
coming.
45 minutes. Because of my I will have stood up.
No,
Ope, it shouldn't be so.
I didn't want to break his conversation.
You broke mine for after speaking for 2 minutes.
I'm coming.
You broke mine. No,
Yes.
Because these are the people.
If not because of him, I will have stood. I mean,
Dr.
you would have been here.
Dr. Kawade,
No.
apologies.
No. People like Kayode.
Meanwhile, I will even.
It was people like Kayode that were holding the reins of power.
Exactly.
That were holding the reins
and he's been on one of the people
And
that
that is
have
why
helped me up.
I don't know when you are making me to sleep in the studio.
Dr.
I mean, it's not good.
You always have my show every single Monday. You know that, and I've never looked down on that.
We are discussing sensitive issues.
So let's come into the conversation. Let's get into the conversation. Okay, Dr. Doyin Okupe, I will still ask you, then he will pick the conversation from there. That's Dr. Dayo Kayode. When the conversation about a merger between the Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso's NNPP conversation came up, we were hearing talks that, oh, it could be him, it could be the running mate, it could come into that conversation. Where did that break happen? I mean, could it not have been easier for the Labour Party to have an in-route into the north if
that
they
would
had
have
followed
been
that
that
alliance?
would have been a perfect union, because what we lacked he has. You know what we are now trying to
That's the numbers.
No, the penetration in the north. You know, with the Kwankwaso on our ticket, we would have not had to do so much, which we are doing right now, which we will also succeed in doing. But you know, in this life, you know, we are just like pawns. God is the ultimate. God is the one that is planning and executing everything, and it is his will that will come to pass. But the issue here was that Kwankwaso does not believe that, you know, he should be a vice presidential candidate. And we feel that the whole idea of this 2023 is that the southern leadership must emerge. So there's no way a northern leadership should emerge after one northern leadership is just exiting. But the Kwankwaso people do not believe that. So the basis for discussion was no longer existed. So we quit. But please, you know, let's.
No, I'm coming to you.
I'm sleeping, all right. Please get me a mattress and
It's
pillow.
not in my
Go to
studio.
bed.
Get me mattress and pillow.
Dr. Dayo Kayode, he made mention of your party. By the way,
Which party?
You're wearing the logo of PDP.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
And then
But
we're going
and
to-
that's
No,
why
no,
you are
no.
making me to sleep.
No, you see,
Yes.
I wanted you to have enough to discuss
No,
about because
enough
you
for
have
how many minutes?
shades
How
have
many
come.
minutes? now.
You're wasting good time. So
Shades,
let him
shades
just talk.
had come on your party.
Let him just
Now he made
talk.
mention of the fact that your party was in office for 16 years. And
He was part of
Our
it.
party.
There wasn't
our
so
former
much,
party.
Yeah,
He
former
was
party.
part of it.
Former party.
He was in government.
Yes.
He was the senior. He was the special assistant to former
presidents.
President Olusegun Obasanjo. Then you were senior special assistant on public affairs to former President Goodluck Jonathan.
Correct.
So you were part of the OPDP conversation.
Correct.
Dr. Dayo Kayode, do you also think, or do you also align to the school of thought of Dr. Doyin Okupe that the 2023 presidential election may not necessarily have to go on a context? Do you also subscribe to that? Vis-a-vis, you have a candidate with so much experience and acceptance in Atiku Abubakar.
I'm going to start from where you stopped me. Then I will write it down to where you are now when you were talking about the third force.
You have the whole floor.
If you allow me.
Yes, please.
When you were talking about the third force. Yes, third force. In this country, especially this Lagos, because most of the things I be saying now, I be talking in parables, okay? Yeah, because I wouldn't have enough time to do my expression the way I supposed
We're
to.
going to 5:30.
Now
Time.
listen to this. We were having Okada and motor vehicles before now, and along the line, people were seeing that okay, traffic was holding on to vehicles, and then Okada riders were becoming too fast for people. They now brought a third force in Keke Marwa. All right, Keke Marwa. Now, if you are now saying because somebody can ride Keke Marwa, does that mean that person can drive a vehicle? It's at your own peril if you enter such a person's vehicle. Okay? Yes. My brother said it. Obi has ideas. But how about the implementation? How about putting those things on ground? Because if you have an idea, that idea, if you don't know how to get it domesticated among your people, then it's zero. But we are talking about somebody who understands the terrain, who understands the north, the south, the west, the east, even the middle, who have been there for 80 years. Even though, like people always say, spare tire. But whatever it is,
the vice presidency.
but whatever it is, along the line, the real tire was flat, and you use that same spare tire. So that means that spare tire has that experience. We need somebody who understands today. We need somebody who understands Nigeria properly, who understands Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani. Somebody who is a detribalized Nigeria. I have taught on this program sometimes ago when I was telling people how detribalized Atiku is. And even you yourself, you were amazed that you never had such a story before. We don't need somebody who is boisterous. No, we need somebody who is calculative. We don't need somebody who is out to talk, just talk, because I want people to listen to me. Somebody who argues, no, rather who is ready to discuss.
So Dr. Dakarade, what new thing, what new templates do you feel that the PDP, which a lot of people have said is just like a senior headquarters to the ruling APC, what difference do you think they want to sell for Nigerians to embrace them come 2023?
No doubt about it, PDP had made mistakes in the past. But then I always tell people, mistakes are part of development.
True.
And to that extent, PDP had also come of age more than it was in the past. Okay? Now, they are now saying, let us push forward somebody among us who understands the terrain. Because Nigeria today needs somebody beyond all this primordial thinking. Why somebody is saying, Emilokan, I'm a Yoruba should vote for me. And somebody is traveling up and down to the Vatican, to churches, here and there. But you don't see Atiku. You will never see him saying, Hausa, come and vote for me. Or you see Muslims come and vote for me. Or the Christians come and vote for me. Rather, trying to ensure, to forge a cohesive Nigeria where things will work.
He's being called unifier.
Yeah, unifier. That's what I'm saying. Because without cohesion between you and me, there is no idea you have that you'll be able to be successful. Listen to this. I was reading somewhere, I think yesterday, and somebody wrote, if all these Christians should get the reign of power, Muslims are in trouble. And another person replied, if these Muslims should get into power, Christians are in trouble. But have you seen Abubakar Atiku identifying to one side than the other side? No. Have you seen him talking that because I told you, without Atiku there wouldn't have been an Abiola as regards 1992 just election, SDP convention. Without Atiku there wouldn't have been Obasanjo's second term. It can bear me witness when all those governors wanted to, I was saying no, it should be you. But he said, okay, Baba, since you say you are saying so, go. But have you seen Atiku talking about it? Even when he was being vexed.
Okay.
Listen, he will never talk about it because all on his head is about
unify the country.
Are you also aware? Is having some professors, professionals, practitioners together, nothing less than 25 of them, for the past 10-15 years, trying to forge a cohesive Nigeria and how to make Nigeria work, and then get back to that height whereby he was the cynosure of all eyes. This is somebody who has been working on that for how many years? Okay. So do you want to throw that away?
No, certainly not. Well, maybe Nigerians should decide.
Do you want to
throw that away? No,
I'm only asking questions. Do you want to throw that away?
Okay, maybe we should.
Do we want somebody who will be in Aso Rock and you cannot relate with? No. And then his wife will be calling co women folk thugs? No, we don't want that.
Dr. Dakawadi, let me hold your thoughts there for a few minutes.
How many minutes have I spoken now? Not up to 3 minutes.
No, wow, that's not true. Well, in case you're just tuning in,
I will allow you to send me and my Egbo.
It's been a very good time on the show today. I've had Dr. Dakawadi, of course. He joins me every Monday, and he has a special way of setting the week on fire for me. Well, he almost hijacked my show today, but I'm not going to allow it. And of course, I've had Dr. Doyin Okukpe. I love calling his full name. There's so much royalty in that name. Momo Bade Doyin Ajibike Okukpe. But a lot of people know him as Dr. Doyin Okukpe, and he was at some point the placeholder for the running mates of Peter Obi. That's how much he's been around this movement. My phone line had been buzzing since 4 p.m. and I think we need to open a conversation and get the people involved. 0913-600-0410. 0913-600-0410. Well, in case you're just tuning in, we've been looking at the 2023 general election, the third force emergence, the third movement emergence, and the journey ahead. And it's really been interesting. So join the conversation, and I want to appeal to you. It's just going to be 1 minute so that I can read loads of these messages that are coming in already. And you can also follow our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. My first caller is here. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you join us on the show.
God will bless you.
You're welcome.
What I really want to say is that I'm supporting Dr. Okukpe, our Babaji. We feel that at his age, 70 years can see far. Then I think we the youth, we should follow suit. They should not deceive us with onions again and a bag of salt. Who does that in this kind of century we are? Let them go and retire in their homes and become advice to the young ones. That's just all I want to say. We are tired of this party. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. Just call in, drop your comments, and of course, we can pick so many other calls. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good to have you join us. Your name and where you calling from?
From Balagbado.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I only make a very strategic comment. You see, they say that we need the diaspora who have money, everything. We have so many diaspora, but no one have a credible track record in our country. Say, for instance, Ngozi is now the DG of Trade World WTO. And we enjoy our trade fund at this moment. Supposed to be enjoy our trade fund. We're able to pay all the industrial, we're able to settle all the industrial problems we have in the country. And we're able to develop all our things. Secondly, they say there's anything called coercive issue on the issue of Atiku. What is coercion? What is coercion on the Fulanization? Fulanization of the personal interest of the Fulani leader. But there's every purpose. There's nothing to call coercion. We need to serve the right of one another. God bless you.
Thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. This one says, okay, let me pick message. Let me pick calls first.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name? Yes, your name and where are you calling from?
Chinedu from Morrisonboro.
Chinedu from Morrisonboro, you're welcome.
Okay, see, whether PDP like they want to correct their mistake or whatever, we are tired of foreign two political parties. I love
Dr. Doyin Okukpe.
Your guest here, Doyin Okukpe. You really tried. I love the way you speak with a lot of sense. This is what Nigeria wants this time around. Not only say making noise doesn't solve problems. You calm down and solve problems. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. My next caller before I go to read the messages. Okay. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you join us. Your name and where you calling from?
From Utah.
Okay.
We know Dr. Okukpe very well. He has been in charge of a trust fund during Obasanjo's time. And we know him very well. He has not been speaking the minds of Nigeria. We in our area, we are voting Asiwaju Tinubu. Okay. And I bet 60% of our vote, of Nigerian vote will go for Asiwaju Tinubu.
Okay.
We know the person that can reset Nigeria.
we will do it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 09136000410. Let me quickly see if I can squeeze in some messages before the next calls come in. Okay, this one says stealing and looting is prohibited by the law. It is signed for labor. We must labor. We won't labor in vain. Remember, there's dignity in labor. That is Joe from Ikeja. This one is Festus from Alagbadu. And it says the conversation is getting very interesting this evening. I hope we can have more time to do this. Let me say hello to Dr. Doyin Okukwe. We hope to see him come to our area to campaign for Peter Obi. We are 100% obedient and available. Thank you very much, Festus from Alagbadu. Hello, good evening, my last caller. Hello.
Good evening, Okwe.
Good to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you calling from?
Felix from Mowe.
Felix from Mowe, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Okwe. I mean, like when you were doing introduction, I was still wondering, is it the same Doyin Okukwe that we know?
It's the same one.
Just a name. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Dr. Dankayode.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Fine, I'm fine. You know, Nigeria now we are heading into 2023 general election. You know, we need to be very, very careful. A lot of things are happening, has happened in Nigeria and are still happening. You know, I was listening to a radio and somebody asked a question that you should mention one particular sector that you know that is working in Nigeria. Is it health? Is it education? Which of the sector you know that is working? And if you go thoroughly, you won't be able to mention one. Sincerely, it's not about PDP, Labour Party, APC, or whatsoever. I think we should focus on credibility this time. And I totally agree with what all the guests have said. But at least 2023 is very crucial to us. I always say this. We have to be very, very serious about this 2023 because if we did get it right in 2023, I'm still wondering when we'll get it right. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show today. 09136000410. This one says, okay, the calls won't allow me to read the messages. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you join us on the show today.
Good evening, Dr. Kukwe and Dr. Kayode. Claim to belong to a political party. Prof, for me, Atiku should go and pack well. I will never support him yesterday. I will never support him today. I will never support him tomorrow. He's part of the problem. And for Doyin Okukwe, because he is not the presidential candidate and he's supporting somebody that we all know that, just like he said, has come with some level of credibility, you know, I will go for him. I want to ask you people in the studio, because every time they say no structure, no structure, no structure. If you don't have an agent, Dr. Doyin Okukwe, I'm putting this question. If you don't have an agent, for example, in my ward, and there is no agent for Labour Party, does it mean the vote will not count? Because this no structure, I don't understand. Must party agents sign for votes that have been, cast in a particular place before they can be valid?
Thank you.
So we are tired of this, political parties. And honestly, if we really look at it, I think we are just being tribalistic when we begin to talk of one man and all of that. Because some people, when you see their health, the way they walk, the way they bend, my brother, don't let us deceive ourselves. They deliberately put that man there so that if anything happens, a Northerner will take over. God bless
thank you very much. Well, I kind of knew that was where that conversation was going to end. Hello, good evening, Clement.
Hello.
Good to have you join us on the show today.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Clement.
You're welcome.
I'm calling from Agor Palace Way.
You're welcome. Hello, Clement. Okay, maybe you need to try and call us back. 09136000410. The lines are really running into each other. In case you're calling and we can't pick, you can drop your messages on the same line. Hello, good evening, Prince Wise.
You must pick me. You must pick my own.
You're welcome.
That's too much, eh? Doctor, good evening to you.
Good evening.
You see, my question to the other guest in the studio, Dr.
I have Dr. Doyin Okupe and I have Dr. Dan Kayode.
I want to throw this question before him. I know he's a full member of PDP. He worked for Obasanjo. He worked for Jonathan. I want to throw this question before him because what is paining me right now is the strike of ASU. During Obasanjo period, please, I want you to tell me how many months did ASU go on strike? Come during Jonathan period, the one that signed the agreement with ASU, how many months did they go on strike before they resume? I want you to tell me that too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. He's certainly going to respond to all of the questions raised already. Hello, Benjamin.
Hello, sir.
Good evening. Good to have you join us on the show today.
Good evening, sir. Well, I really have to make my own contribution.
Please
I
go
want
ahead.
to appeal to the whole Nigeria that they should not look at what do I put it? We should not look at, we should not put it in tribal something or the other side. We should vote the capable and credible people. We have been suffering for more than 20 years. So since we have been suffering. PDP have raised us for 16 years, and we are still going for another 8 years ago. Are we still going to go for this? I am begging. We should go for the youth, the fresh brains, those that have that brain is fresh, not those that are due to retire. If you are due to retire, go home and retire. Let others do it. If PDP and OPC can produce young vibrant people, then they can come about. We are tired of these two parties. We are suffering for long. Thank you, my fellow Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. Thank you for joining us on the show today. 09136000410. I just hope I would have time for my guests to respond. Damilola, good evening.
Good evening, Okoye.
Glad to have you join us today. I'm doing well, and you?
I'm fine. Honestly, your analysts have spoken very well. Honestly, very well. Now, see, I want to throw my weight and wholeheartedly support Dr. Doyin. See, in this country, we need to face reality. It's that time we play politics, we come to our senses when it comes to democracy. I wonder day by day, what kind of democracy are we running in this country? The first thing that we have been suffering, we have been getting things all this year. It's not the right time to right the wrongs. It's not the right time to sit right and get things done properly. We need somebody that will put this country in order. Our former leader, they are doing this country a young number. And that is why if we get it wrong next year, there's going to be a serious problem. That's my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much for lending your thoughts to the conversation on the show today. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Good to have you join us. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, you're live on radio. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Sule Asis.
Your name, please.
My name is Aleshina Williams.
Okay, Williams from Surulere.
Yeah, yes. Please, I would like to ask a question from Dr. Okupe. What has made Peter Obi to be a new forces now? Because in 4 years ago, he believes in the ideology of
the PDP.
In the PDP. What has now changed his perspective towards Peter Obi? Because Peter Obi, people looking at his antecedents. 8 years ago, he was a member of the PDP. Even during the primary that they want to do before he went out, he bought the form of 40 million. What has now rebounded him for us to believe that he's not a changed person that Nigeria can believe?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe you should just pause the calls for now. There's been a lot of questions asked. Dr. Okupe, would you like to go first?
I will concede to him.
Okay, please. Somebody raised the issue of Atiku Abubakar being a part of the old order. I mean, do you also think there's anything new that your candidate is bringing to the table?
You see, the way Nigeria is now is on a serious crossroad, of which, while people are always talking about restructuring, I always talk about reinventing. And for anybody to reinvent this nation, it has to be somebody who understands the nitty-gritty of nationhood.
But Peter Obi was a former governor.
Listen, when you're saying a former governor,
So
how
was
many
Ashwaju.
how many people? But when you are talking of the vice president of also how many states, of also how many states. And here is somebody that brought in all the technocrats in Baba Obasanjo's government, that made that government to be what it was then. He can bear that witness.
Wow.
Dr. Doyin Okupe can bear that witness. And if somebody has done that, you can be sure that more is also coming.
Okay.
That is one. Two, when you look at our economy, the way it is now, our economy, for it to come back to what it's supposed to be, is beyond I want to go and learn something in one place, I want to go and learn something in that place, I want to go and learn something. No, Nigeria cannot afford to have people that will now be learning on the job. No,
so it is about experience now.
It's about not only experience, deep knowledgeable experience. Do you understand? So that is what Nigeria requires now, and it is not about age. Listen, today I was working with some young men that they are aware that I'm far older than them, but I was working ahead. I once told you a story when I was in Abuja and I was to go to the 4th floor through the staircase, and the guy following me, who is like how old, was far behind. So it's not about age. How old is Pelosi?
Joe Biden is old as well.
I'll
come to you.
So it's not somebody that has a working, cohesive Nigeria.
I like that last line. Dr. Doyin Okupe, somebody raised issues as regards what had come up with the whole rebranding ideology of Peter Obi. Was a running mate to former vice president. Maybe you want to respond to that as well.
It was, during Jonathan, lower than that.
In between, yes.
Yeah, lower than that. With Dayo. The truth of the matter is unfaulted. 2, take a country down. Any of them. So this is not time for niceties. I've been in this game. I was so and so. You must match. You must match the candidates with the following: pedigree, character, evidence of previous performance, physical capacity and capability.
Which is
what in the pedigree of this man will make him, a better president out of these 3. Thus, in terms of, and integrity matters. Integrity of these 3 people, who will you trust with your money and your life?
Evidence of past performance.
Can I just let me go on? Integrity is crucial, and a matter of trust. There's no candidate. It's not a matter of PDP or PC. There's no candidate who is a high flyer in either PDP or APC that will pass the integrity test. It's a shame that in Nigeria we think it's not important. It is important.
Can Obi pass that?
If people really know what they're doing in this country, nobody flying the flag of APC should be taken seriously running for president. Nobody. Judging from what APC has done in the last 7 years, we have gotten to the level that we have never seen before. And and somebody says, if you do not electorally, sanction people for misdemeanor and misbehavior, how do you want to get out of it? It doesn't make sense. So, in terms of integrity, evidence of performance of the 3 candidates, nobody comes close to Peter Obi.
With the investment of Anabra's money in a building.
And when you look at personal disposition, it's not because I'm following Obi, I will trust Obi first before any of the other 2. I will. It's a matter of trust.
For investing states money.
Millions of Nigerians are not. I am the Director General of the Obi Dati campaign. I can tell you for free here that we do not know, either me or Obi or anybody in the organization, we have no idea of how this million match comes up, who funds them, how they are organized. I am the DG. I only see it on social media myself. My wife can say, have you seen what happened in Port Harcourt? My daughter can say, have you seen what happened in Enugu? You know, these are an organic movement. You know, people can lie to themselves. People can, you know, live in denial. But Nigerian people have woken up. Their senses are with them, and they are making a statement.
Let me squeeze in a few more calls before we
statement.
Doctor, no.
You can listen to them, and you can ignore them at your own peril.
Please give me a minute. Hello, good evening.
Yeah,
I didn't get your name, please.
My name is Clement.
Okay, Clement, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Agege.
Okay, Clement from Agege. You need to move away from your radio set, or you put it off completely.
Please, I want to ask a question. Hello?
I'm with you, Clement.
Yeah. The 1 million miles of pickup, are they up to 30,000? That is talking about 1 million. They are not up to 30,000.
I can answer him straightforwardly.
Sure.
The number,
another question again. You said the DG reverse another money to his parallel company. How she, because you read everything on social media, the this month, PDP that wrote all those things on social media. Are you telling me that those people that wrote all those things are telling lies?
Thank you. He's going to respond to your question.
All the Panama investments.
0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening. Good to have you join us on the show today.
I've never answered my question. Abi?
What
question before you? That when he was in PDP as a spokesman for Obasanjo, how many months did they go on strike?
He answered your question. Please, why he answered your question? 0913-600-0410. Hello, Christopher.
Yeah, hello.
You have the floor. 1 minute.
Hello, I'm Christopher. I'm calling from Computer Village.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I am interested in your program, and you are doing well. My take is that I think I want to align with Okupe. You know, this issue, the election self, people like Robert Clark said, the issue of election coming up is not even who wins or who does not win, but how do we move forward now in Nigeria? Because things have been so bad that it might not even be possible for one person now who wins to restore Nigeria to normality. But we are not going by that. The necessary that we go through, the whom, from all indications, is better in terms of character and competence, and in the mood of what the youth want in Nigeria today.
Okay, it seems the frequency is not so good. Let me still squeeze in one more call, and I give my guests 2 minutes to wrap up their thoughts. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. My name is Emmanuel.
Your name is what?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, where are you calling from?
Well, I'm on transit.
Okay, you're on transit, please. Okay, just stay safe.
I want to ask your guest there as a PDP member. What is his name, sir?
I didn't get a question.
Your guest, the PDP representative.
Is Dr. Dayo Kayode. He's not a PDP representative, but he's a member of the PDP, so it's just on my show. So go ahead.
Okay. I just want to chip in something here.
Please, you have the floor.
I want to ask him, do you know Obasanjo regime when Atiku was the vice?
Do you what?
During Obasanjo regime when Atiku was the vice president. Let me ask your guest in the studio that the companies Obasanjo asked Atiku to privatize, please, who brought those companies?
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Maybe we should just stop the respondents.
I will answer you.
You have the floor.
You see, all those companies that were being privatized, we all know many of them here. For you to know who and who bought them, you have to get to CAC. You have to get to BPE. Public enterprise.
We should disregard the word flying around.
Do you understand? Because if you go there, are you seeing Atiku's name that is the one that bought this or is the one that bought that? Or are you seeing any money being transferred from account of such companies to Atiku's account? You see, these are issues that are all political. You don't deal with issues that are political, all right? But rather, let us deal with facts and figures, things that are being written down.
Okay, I'll still come back to you. Dr. Dayo Kayode, Now, we've established the fact that a paradigm shift is needed in this country. We don't know, maybe it's going to come on the platform of a political party or the platform of a candidate. In 2 minutes, tell us why, me as a Nigerian that I have a PVC, why do you think Peter Obi or the candidate of Labour Party is the movement that will take Nigeria to the next level? And Dr. Daokade, you would also respond to that question.
Very straightforward. But let me tell Dayo something. You know, Dayo knows me very well. Not in a matter of studio.
Sure.
He's my person. He's my personal person.
Till today.
Now, you can't sit next to me and you're talking about corruption against Peter Obi. I'm not tongue-tied. I'm an elder statesman. And at my level, I'm not interested in putting blames on anybody. People who live in glass houses
don't throw stones.
Must not throw stones. Me, it's not stones that I have. I have bombs. But, you know, I've passed that stage. And we're not going to... That is not the basis of this discussion. So, nobody's talking about corruption. And I doubt whether, you know, his candidate or APC candidate are free of corruption, but that's not the issue. The real issue here is this. You know, I was a member of PDP, and I take responsibility for my participation in that administration. And quite honestly, believe me, I felt that we did well. Believe me. But Nigerians says we didn't do well. So they kicked us out of office. Because somebody said, I will do better. The man who said I will do better comes in, and in 7 years, he has gone worse. So what do you expect from Nigerians? You've done one, A, failed you. B has failed you. There is a chance that a C will serve you better. Why go to A or B? Simple equation.
Now, you see, sir, much as you know, even when you came in, I gave you that regard as my ego.
Yes,
I will never throw anything. I will never throw anything to your face. Yes, you deserve it. About trust, and when you were talking about, you understand. That's why I quickly say, look, there's no doubt about it, sir. I won't say it.
Let's leave it.
No, it's okay.
Move on.
There's no doubt about it when you go to the, but definitely you will see some have been there 6 times, some have been there 5 times, some just the first time. So it is not left for you to choose whether it's the one that has gone there 6 times or the one that is just coming in the first time. Because for you to have a surviving baby from your pregnancy, you still need experience. Yes, you can even why trying to deliver, you can use your ties
squeeze the baby
to squeeze the baby dead.
Okay,
so these are issues.
Doctor may think different. He's a trained medical doctor.
He is. But then we are looking at things.
Cowdy is swimming in very dangerous water.
I follow your footsteps.
He's a trained medical doctor.
I follow your footsteps. Speaking, either anybody likes it or not. Forget about sentimentalism now. Okay, like somebody said, activist. I'm not an activist. I'm a crusader.
It's the same thing.
No, that's why it's different. It's different.
It's just the semantics.
As I go and look at it, I've taken time to study being an activist and being a crusader. Yes,
Dr.
Not restructure, because we don't have a structure to restructure. It's about reinventing, putting down a new foundation whereby we can now put structures upon structures. We need somebody who understands the structure of that soil.
Okay.
Who understands, who has the experience of how was that soil 2 years ago, 10 years ago. Do you understand? To be able to understand how it is now, to now know, how do you now reinvent?
Okay, well, thank you so much. I didn't think this conversation was going to go this way.
But you should give me 1 minute to run.
You have said it. You took it first.
Let me.
1 minute ago.
No. Just give him 1 minute.
I believe
more than 2 minutes.
I believe what Dayo said is correct.
Thank you, sir.
You know that.
But don't say but.
No. That you know you need to reinvent the country.
Thank you.
All right. Now, this Nigeria is a country that is over 60 years old. All right? And today,
today. I mean, the producers were gracious enough to give us extra 30 minutes, and it was absolutely worth it.
Should we be for more 30 minutes?
No, please.
It's
okay like this. Okay, in case you're just tuning in, it's been the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM, and I've had my regular friend, brother, mentor, father, Dr. Daokaude join me in the studio today. Once again, let me publicly apologize for the little misstep the other time. I'm still learning on it. And of course, I have the DG of the largest movement right now that is swimming like a wildfire. Please permit me to use the right words. I have Dr. Donyo Okukwe with me in the studio, and he's been able to try to push the agenda of Anambra State's first son. That's what they called him, and he seems to be Nigeria's dream right now. Peter Obi, and let's see where we move from here. INEC has said by the 28th day of this month, the campaign proper will, be open up. So I want to publicly request that Dr. Leo Okukwe, you would enlist my radio station when the campaign properly starts. Let us do just that.
I understand.
You gave me a good news at the start of this show too. Now you gave me a letter.
Oh my goodness!
So let's just keep it.
Take him.
Thank you very much. Well, my name is Okpayemi Akyode, Gospel in our life. Tomorrow 4 to 5 p.m. we're back with the Station Room, and I hope that all of these calls and messages I'll be able to sort a couple of them tomorrow. Stay out of trouble, and don't forget, when you see something, you say something. Bye for now.